Homeboy, did you talk to did you have you talked to Brad?
Texting earlier.
Okay, all right. I
I'm
know.
gonna text him right now.
Okay, yeah, because I know he asked us to shoot him a message.
And I forgot.
All right, I
I'm
know.
gonna text him right now.
Okay, yeah, because I know he asked us to shoot him a message.
And I forgot.
All right.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, because I know.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
You got a double feedback going.
Yeah.
I
That's
forgot.
there we go. Okay, because I still had the YouTube thing open.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were. Yeah, I was wondering what the hell. Where's that coming from? So
Oh hell, we're live now. There we go.
yeah, we're already live, man. We ain't got. I mean, we keep it casual around here, man.
Oh.
We're not like 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, look at there he is. There he is. Let me add him.
Oh, there he is. He's been backstage.
I've been on here the whole time, you fools.
Oh, no, you're such a liar because I just saw that you jumped in. You're such a liar.
Oh, epic.
What's
up,
up? Hey,
boys?
who do you got? Who do you got with you? You got a buddy with you today?
It's my friend Dylan.
Dylan.
hi,
What's up,
Dylan.
Dylan?
Hey, what's
He,
up?
he doesn't have the mic. I got my AirPods in, but they can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Mhm.
I mean, he's in there. Okay,
Perfect.
I
Doing
got.
some neat shit right here. Woo!
Oh, you putting on the rotors and everything, huh?
Yeah.
What year road glad?
2022 ST, brah.
Oh, brand.
Nice.
Oh,
Got Springer Mike. What's up, Mike?
damn, he's got that 2022 ST money, huh?
Oh yeah.
What's up, Mike? That is sweet.
Yeah, that is a clean looking and Brad, you got the privilege of wrenching on the thing, man.
Yeah. Yep. I tried to have it done before we started this, but my apologies, boys.
Dude, no big
Hey,
deal, man. I mean,
it happens.
Yeah, and feel free to step away and wrench and do what you got to do, man, to get it done.
yeah.
I know, I'm gonna crack my beer. Denver, you drinking with us tonight?
Oh, buddy, you already know.
What are you
That's
drinking?
Let me see your phone.
I got a silver bullet, and then I got the special cup.
Oh, there you go. I'm good. The good old original Modelo Micheladas.
You mean Ray's
Oh, those are
Ray's
the best.
always go to homebrew?
That's my go-to, man. Yeah, those are my go-to. So, hey, well, guys, on another note, thank you for coming and hanging out tonight. I know kind of a
45.
little last minute, so to speak, but I thought it would be. I wanted to help get the word out of what you guys just accomplished over the weekend a little bit more. We probably could have planned that a little bit better, but I want everyone to hear what you guys did and get the details on it. And in addition, I mean, I want everyone else to hear it, but I want to hear it. So,
Hey man, I'm honored to be asked to come back. Auction, it's really cool being on the other side of it. It's I wouldn't say less stressful, but it's always when you also kind of do your own podcast. It's awesome to be the guest on another one, just kick back, and it's like hell yeah, this is a good time. And man, short notice, no notice, days notice, man, I'd always come on and hang out, buddy. I enjoy this.
I know that exact feeling, man. I know that feeling when I've been on a couple of yours in particular. I've been on yours, and it was like, it definitely being on that side of it. It's like, just relax,
Oh yeah, just kick back and have fun. But yeah, the whole
All right.
the epic monsters over mountains.
Okay.
It seems like it was a
We did
long time
research
ago
through this.
planning it, and it's like can we do it? It's like called originally it was just going to be I think 3 people, and then it grew and it grew, and knowing that you have a larger group sometimes can make it a little difficult, especially when you're trying to complete
All right. I'll take that.
I mean not just a ride, but I guess you could say a challenge within the time frames, because number one, we wanted that ride 1K in a day because Ramble came on board as a sponsor, so getting that 1K on Saturday was important, and knowing that stops are going to take longer when you have more people coming with you, and it adds a little bit another level of difficulty. But I think in a way it helps having a few more minds, because we kind of I guess you could say had to throw in an audible halfway through. As like Bragg said, when we first started going up the North Cascades, we ran into a 47 mile chip and seal, where the road was all chip and sealed.
Well, real
And so-
quick, Denver, let's do. I want to make sure that people know what the ride was for, because to me, I think that's the most. The ride is great, but I think that the what you guys did it for is like to me is like it's huge, and so you guys raised money, and now Denver, fill in the blanks where need be. You work in our good relation. You have a lot of good relationships with what we would call mile crushers, big mile kind of riders that you have.
Really big mile monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been fortunate, through doing the the V Twin Life, I've got to know a lot of these. I think what you could call literally professional endurance riders. I mean, the guys might seem like they have day jobs, but these guys, they lay down miles that are just mind-boggling. I mean, from Riot, because this whole thing. Okay, let's just try not to bounce all around. This was for what I wanted to join up and help Mile Monsters. I enjoyed sharing all these posts, trying to help Mile Monsters, gain more funds, gain more money. What they're doing is Mile Monsters is a nonprofit. They're a 501c3 that is raising money for boys and families that suffer from Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Duchenne's is...
Go ahead. That's what I was going to ask. What is Duchenne's?
Duchenne's is another form of muscular dystrophy, but with Duchenne's only affects males. Most of these boys will get diagnosed at a very young age, say 2-3 years old. And the disease right now is fatal. A lot of these boys, from what I've read and studied and talked with them, most of them by the time they're 10-ish, they're in a wheelchair, and from that it doesn't take long where then they're in a power chair.
And it's a muscular type of
disorder?
That's
starts attacks their muscles, arms or legs, where they lose movement, and then towards the end stage of the disease, the muscles will take the heart. And right now there's no cure. And what these boys go through is I've followed the page and Rice Journeys and became friends with some of the the families that Mile Monsters is helping. Mile Monsters isn't like one of these groups where their goal is to buy 30 vans a year. They do what needs to be done to help the boys live the best lives they can. Whether, as Rice put it, whether it's a PlayStation 5, whether these boys need some bikers to come by and say, hey, we're here for you, we're your friends, or maybe they need help. Like I know they're helping a family in Alabama with a storm shelter for a boy that's in a power chair where he can be safe. One family in the springtime I was hearing is going to need some help with a van. They do what needs to be done, and no family, their needs are all different. It's, not just, vans and all this, whether it's a track system, help with a power chair, with a van, home stuff. What these boys need to help them be comfortable and live the best lives they can is what Mile Monsters is doing.
That's a really incredible. It's an incredible thing to attach yourself to something that is, unfortunately, like you said, there's no cure for it right now. So it to me it hits so much harder when you ultimately know what the end game is, and you're contributing to these to make a cure for them to be able to get a cure for this. But that takes a certain individual for me to be able to like put yourself around that and bring these people up and uplift them. That takes a good-willed, great individual to do that.
And it's like here a while back they had I think it was in Texas. One of the boys, I could be, my terminology could be wrong, but I believe is kind of somewhat in a way saying being bullied at school because he's in a wheelchair in a power chair.
Right. Okay.
And so Riot got a hold of some of his fellow monster riders. I think Chris Hopper's one, Go Home Ken, Kimberly Walling. They went down to the school and had what was called a Monster Day. Mile Monsters outfitted the entire school in Monster Day t-shirts, not just the kids, but all the staff. They rode their bikes in, everybody parked their Harleys in the gym, and they explained what Duchenne's is. Explained that he is no different than you are, except, this disease is, taking his muscles. He might be in a wheelchair, but he's still just a boy. He's still just, an everyday kid. His symptoms, and what he's going through might make him different, but on the inside, he's no different.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
And Alfie, who is in Ireland,
Water.
is kind of, I guess, going through the same thing. So I think it's in 38 days. Riot, his wife, and some of the more monsters, they're going to Ireland for a week, and they're doing a monster day in Ireland
Wow.
to go support another boy.
These guys do
And-
some serious numbers, man. They do. I mean,
Yeah.
you were like, your guys' ride in their journey right now was a small blimp on the on the thing.
Absolutely. And, you've had Chris Hopper on. I've had Hopper on. I've been fortunate enough to, meet him and hang out when I went to the Hokahay in June when I went to the send-off. My wife and I went over there. My son rode with me, and Setzer Pendus met me in Montana, and we rode over there to meet all the guys from the Hokahay and meet up with all these people that I've got to know via social media and finally put a real face instead of just, tags and whatnot on social media, and got to meet firsthand and hang out with these guys for a whole day as I end up staying all day at the Harley shop. But that's another story of a broke down bike.
Oh,
And-
we're gonna dive into that stuff, man. I want to hear because I want to hear about the the fundraising and the organization and everything. But
Yeah.
what I love them stories from the road, man. Those are
Oh, man.
those
Yeah.
are boy. So you guys did how long? Because you said it was a work it was kind of planning. How long was the preparation before you did this weekend?
A couple months.
Okay, and
I think it started probably. I think I got the idea in April, May. I got a hold of Riot and said, "Hey, I want to do something a little more. I can't do a massive spectrum, what you guys do. A week, 10,000 miles in 10 days, or like Riot, 13 days, 13 states, 13,000 miles. What he called the Eyesight Tour." I said, I don't have that much time, but I will gladly give up a weekend and do something. And it's like Riot said, he goes, everything helps. Every penny helps. He goes, it doesn't have to be something epic. He goes, because every ride is epic. The time doesn't matter, the distance. He goes, when you put your heart into it and you go do, as he calls, you do epic shit. And so we started planning it. We had the first name, I can't remember what originally we came up with a name, and then Frank Orlando, who's known as Watch Out for us, kind of was playing around with some ideas because he came on board and about a month into it and really wanted to help. And he was a huge help in getting a lot of these flyers made because he works for a print company, Abbott's Printing, who donated all their time, and they made all the flyers. Their graphic designer volunteered his time to redo the medicine wheel that was on our flyers, the stickers, the business cards, the banners we had on our bikes. I got to give a huge shout out to Abbott's Printing in Yakima, Washington, because in my opinion, they went above and beyond and did some amazing contributions to this, and it was awesome.
So the ride consisted of you and I were talking a little bit about. We talked a couple of weeks, I think, before, or maybe the week before. You were kind of prepared. You gave me a call, and you and I keep in contact. Every now. Sometimes we go a little longer than other times when we're able to speak with each other again. That's
Right.
That's life and busy. But you and I spoke maybe a week or two, I think, before you were taking off, and I could hear the excitement in your voice. You're like, "This is going to be a great ride," and everything you were telling me about it. And you said one of the things that you told me is that you were going to kind of kill, or during this trip, it was going to be a two birds with one stone sort of. I guess you would call it opportunity. So because you guys ended up kind of crushing a 1K in a day. And
Right.
then I had actually never heard of the second part when you told me about it, which is a bun burner, and that's 1,500 miles in 36 hours.
Right. And
So you guys did a total of how many miles this weekend?
see, everybody's in a way was a little different just because of locations. Some people, you guys are coming from all over. Let's just put it that way to start with. You had Frank.
Furthest?
Milkweed came the furthest. He was Hermiston, Oregon. It might have been the furthest. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You had Brad coming from Dallas, Oregon. Frank
300
Orlando from
miles for me.
Yakima.
Or a little over 300 for me.
You had
Okay.
Colin coming from Ephrata, Washington. Michael coming from down in Lacey, Washington, just south of Olympia. And Steve and I are both from Port Angeles. So, for me, I ended up with 1,549 miles and 35.5 hours.
Attaboy. I love to hear that shit, man. That is just a straight up weekend on the motorcycle, man.
Oh,
That is
dude.
what that is.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
dude.
mine was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it, Brad.
Mine total with the ride up there, and then the ride home after all the riding was 1962 in 55 hours total.
Attaboy, Brad. Hey, man. Brad,
But look at fucking Frank's or what's Two Wheels? God,
Michael?
I'm embarrassed now. Michael, dude, they were like 2,400 or something crazy like that.
Dude, after Michael split off and rode and did another 1K after the
1K.
ride to Spokane.
Yeah.
dude, that's what I'm saying. I was talking when Denver and I were talking. I'm like, dude, that's like a weekend cruise for these guys. It's like a whole thing for some of us. That's like for a lot of people, that's a huge accomplishment. But for these guys, it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go for a little cruise this weekend. For them, it's nothing. Like they were itching for more after you were done.
Well, you look at Frank Orlando. I mean, you look at a guy, the gray, 5 o'clock shadow, the old school little half helmet. He has already, before this ride, had completed 19 iron butts. A week before this ride, he took off on an 8-day, 7,700-mile trip and had just got back and only been home a few days before we took off for Monsters Over Mountains.
Insane, dude. It's insane.
These guys live for it. I know, and we're out here. I ride decent miles, but we're out here thinking that we're like crushing it, and there's people out there that are just putting us to shame. A lot of people to shame. That's I wish I could I wish I had the luxury a little bit more to be able to do that. If you work from home or something like that, you definitely have that luxury. Throw your laptop in your bags. You can keep working while you're away and shit. But I don't have that. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah. So yeah, it was Monsters Over Mountains was an epic adventure. I mean, I think when anything, you got something, you can pre-plan all you want. We started at the Safeway gas station, like a quarter mile from my house.
Okay, but you guys started in Port Angeles, in the city.
Yep.
And then, which direction did you guys go? Like, what was the route that you took?
Well, the route was go east, and then we hit what's called Highway 20. We had a ferry ride at the very start to head up to Whidbey Island, and the ferry is actually considered part of Highway 20. Then we went over the North Cascade Pass. Or the North Cascades Highway, which is the farthest highway north in Washington that you can go. You go over 2 mountain passes, and the North Cascades is 200 and something miles through the mountains.
Wow. How was the
so
weather?
Sick.
The weather was
Perfect.
great. I mean, we had amazing weather. I mean, I rode in a long sleeve t-shirt the entire time.
Oh, man.
I mean, there was a few times it was a little chilly in spots, like going up the backside of Mount Hood early Sunday morning was a bit nippy.
Okay.
That was fucking cold.
Okay, it was fucking cold. Yeah. And but yeah, we started up North Cascades. We'd made a pit stop at Diablo, to show some of the guys Lake Diablo, because it is just a brilliant emerald green lake because of the nitrogen, because it's coming right off the mountains. And that's where, if you check the pages now, the new cover photo for the V-Twin Life on Facebook, it was, we got a great picture. Steve Weed, who came with us, Steve Weber, he's really into photography, damn near professional photographer. So he'd brought his camera and he'd set it up so he got some, really cool picture of all of us, when in the morning when we started, the whole crew. And from there it was up to Winthrop, which is a cool old Western themed town. I mean, still the board wooden sidewalks, and, during the summertime they have, cowboy shootouts, and it's, a town still themed after the Wild Wild West.
It's like, it reminds me a little bit of like Oatman in, they have this river there in Laughlin. There's a town right across the river called Oatman, and it sounds like it's that. They have wild donkeys like walking around and shit, and it's very Western, old school thing.
Hey, thanks, Mike. And thanks for all your support and everything else that you've helped out with. Also, Springer Mike, he's made a couple donations to this cause, and he's became a great friend. He's at Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
So we left up, hit North Cascades, hit Winthrop, did a few pictures in Winthrop, and then we were off to Leavenworth, which is on Stevens Pass. Leavenworth is a Bavarian village of Washington. I mean, you pull into it and it's all old Bavarian style. I mean, the town still, to this day, neon signs are illegal. Everything is wood. It's like you're coming out of Bavarian ski village. It is the coolest town. We wanted to try to do something there, but the traffic was freaking horrible. I mean, it took us a while to get through it. So,
and it was like
part
95 degrees.
Yeah. And because of all the construction and the chip and seal roads on the North Cascades, that first 220-ish miles took us like over 6 hours to get. And so
You want to know what our average speed was in the first 500 miles?
like 42 or something, wasn't it?
47. We figured out it was 47 miles an hour for the first
Horrible.
500.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Wow.
So we got down over Stevens Pass, down little town of Duval, because part of the thing of this, also in this ride, was we were staying off the main interstates as much as possible, trying to do the secondary back roads. And even after we got down to Duval and, towards the end of this, it gives, I got to give mad respect to all these guys, like, say, the Hokahay, where they're pounding these 1,000+ mile days and they're not on interstates, because after this ride, you realize how hard it is to get that kind of miles they need to try to finish that event in one day, because holy crap.
Dude, that's and don't they know which is the one that they do it without? They just have like road map. That's the Hokahay.
It's not that's the Hokahay. It's not a road map. They're handwritten turn by turn directions.
That's right. But it's not it's not your phone, it's not GPS.
No, you can't use your phone or your GPS. You have to sleep with your bike. You get a performance award, aka a speeding ticket or anything like that, you're disqualified. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, when we got down off Stevens Pass to Duval, I think it was like 2 o'clock-ish. And so we kind of had a little meeting. It's like, if we're going to get this 1K, with the pace we're on, we're looking at not getting it because, we can't get the miles up with traffic and the speeds and whatnot. So we decided to dump Blewett Pass, which our next pass was Snoqualmie Pass. And Blewett Pass would have took us back up towards the Leavenworth area, but traffic was horrible. And actually was kind of smoky up there. You could smell it from a fire somewhat in the area.
Oh, okay.
So we decided to kind of throw in an audible. We got rid of Blewett Pass, but we picked up another pass. So we still had we were still doing 9 passes altogether. We picked up one called Cayuse Pass in Washington. And so we headed up I-90 over Snoqualmie and got some interstate miles to try to help out. And, hit Canyon Road down by Ellensburg and Yakima, which is a cool, twisty road right along the Yakima River. But the problem with picking up Cayuse Pass, when we did up Chinook, across Cayutes, hit White Pass, and back to Natchez, that ended up cutting us like 200 miles.
Oh,
so we get back to Natchez that night at, I think it was 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we need a few hundred more miles. So the plan was we'd run up to this town in Ritzville, which is 60 miles from Spokane, where you're almost into Idaho damn near. Hit Ritzville, and then we were going to hit, a side highway. It was still a 4-laner where we could get some speed. Yeah, it was 8 o'clock at night.
It's starting to get dark then now.
It's getting there.
It's probably starting to get dark. And
so
are you in like the wooded area? Because riding in that shit, man,
Eastern Washington is wide open, flat land. It's like a high desert-ish area. There's not shit for trees over there.
I don't have to worry about it for shit here. I know you guys, those roads up there, you got animals that are running across the streets and shit. That's my worry.
Western Washington, you get a lot of that. And so we decided to head for Ritzville, and then we would head south from Ritzville, but we pulled into the Love's truck stop in Ritzville at 11:30 at night. And we'd been on the road since 5. What at that point? We needed like 200.
Yeah.
To make it to 1,000, you needed that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So we kind of took a pit stop, had some good Carl's Jr. for wrench. I mean dinner. As Brad's wrenching, I'm thinking here.
I
So yeah, we
fucking
kind of
love coffee.
took a
Matter of
20-minute pit stop. Grabbed a Red Bull, grabbed some good Carl's Jr., and then it was time to mob down to Oregon, which was still a 2.5 hour ride to get down to. We were planning on Arlington, Oregon, where on Google Maps there's a gas station right next to this city park that we were going to crash in this parking lot.
Bro.
Yeah.
You
So
tell your story and then let me tell my story about my
Oh,
part.
there's two versions
Oh
of this.
yeah. Oh yeah, you tell your section of it, Denver, and then I'll tell my section of it.
sounds good. So we end up mobbing down there a ways. And I remember, so we get down to Oregon. Then we're heading west on, was it 84? And
84.
Boardman is 20-ish miles from Arlington. And so I'm like, my gas light already came on, and I see this Love's truck stop. I'm like, I got to get fuel. And I look down. At that point, I had rolled 1,014 miles. So I pulled on the gas pumps. It's 1:34 in the morning. I get my final receipt that I needed. Milkweed heat stop because his gas light came on. We filled up, got our 1K in like 20.5 hours. And then it was another 20 miles down to Arlington. And, we pulled into, I think it's like called Earl Snell Memorial Park.
Yeah.
Arlington's a podunk little town. And, we basically set up hobo camp in the corner of a parking lot.
I love that shit. That's fucking awesome. I fucking
Oh,
love
yeah,
that.
air mattresses and sleeping bags on the ground. And
Dude, that's my style.
Call
dude.
it.
That's my style. There's some people that I've been there like, I'm just sleeping in a hotel. I'm like, dude, once in a while it's nice. It's fun just to throw something on the ground, hobo that shit, live your life on it, and that's what you guys did for this weekend. You lived the whole weekend on a motorcycle, man.
Oh,
no, Nick, the
So-
ferry ride did not count for miles because it's odometer miles, and so that didn't count. But I gotta say though, me and Brad slept in luxury because my wife made us. I was trying to find my old ass mattress roll, little roll pad from 20 plus years ago, and she's like, "Just take the twin air mattress." She goes, "Here's the pump," and so she talked Brad into it. So me and Brad had full on freaking air mattresses that are 10 inches thick. So the 2 to 2.5 hours of sleep that we got was comfortable. We'll say that.
Bro, I woke up with drool. I'm all over my face.
You were in a good one, man.
Oh
you were
my
in
God.
Dude, that was the hardest
So,
2 hours of sleep I ever had.
Okay, so back that story up a little bit. We're
Here we
mobbing
go.
through Washington still before we get to Oregon. This is right before Denver hit his 1K. I'm on my Lexan with Colin, okay, and we're talking, dude. The whole day we're talking. His odometer, he's got a chain drive, and I think that threw him off. But he was 45 miles ahead of me on his odometer, and everybody kept checking, and I was the lowest. So I needed, every time he needed, whatever, I was 40 short of what he had. So we're just about to the Oregon-Washington border, and he's like, fuck yeah, I hit my 1K. And I look down at my odometer. I'm like, motherfucker, I still got like 60 miles to go or something like that. I'm like, damn it, what the hell? And he goes, okay, bro. So our end game was Arlington. And he's like, there's a gas station there. I used to work there all the time in this town. It's going to be open 24 hours, blah, blah. I'm like, sweet, dude. My gas light's about ready to come on. I'm looking at how far it is, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, dude, you'll be good. You'll be good. So everybody else is hitting their 1K, right? We get over the bridge, and we're on I-84. And I keep asking him, and he's like, okay, dude, it's like 30 miles to the gas station, or to Arlington. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking down at my trip, and I'm like, dude, I need 30 miles to hit my 1K. It was like perfect, right? So we get there, and I see Denver and them. They pull off, and they're like, "Go, go, go!" Because I'm thinking I can hit this gas station, right? So we're going. I just watching the miles, and I keep asking him, "How close are we?" Because he had it in his GPS, I didn't. I wasn't even paying attention to that point. I'm like, "Dude, I got this many miles to E and this many miles to hit my 1K. We can make it." He's like, "Dude, you got it. You got it." We pull into Arlington to the gas station. I'm at 999.0. This is no BS. Literally roll into the gas station. Guess what? The gas station's closed.
Oh,
My gas light, I'm beyond how many miles I have left. I'm at, when it says, what does it say, low or whatever?
I thought it says dash 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 or something like that. It
Something.
might
I don't
say
remember what it
road.
was. And I'm like, shit. I mean, literally, the campground was next door to the gas station. No big deal. But how
Campground,
crappy
you mean
was that?
parking lot.
So then I'm like, crap, dude, I'm at 999. I had to ride a half mile out and a half mile back just to hit my 1K. It was like, crap, dude. But
I wonder why. Okay, the question: you left earlier and met them earlier. Those miles didn't count towards it, or you just didn't count those towards it?
no,
You just
because it
all
was in
went together
24
at the
hours.
same time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did it all together.
so you rode a couple
Yeah.
hundred more miles before you even got there.
300. Yeah, 300. That
And then you-
1962 number I told you was my total weekend. Leaving here Friday at noon and getting home Sunday at 7 something p.m. That was total miles traveled.
That was a good weekend on motorcycles, boys.
It was an excellent weekend.
So
It was awesome.
Any breakdowns or any like things that like quirky things along the road that
Yes,
rest?
One.
yes. So at one point we're driving. You know what chip seal is?
Chip seal.
So they oil the roads and then they literally cover the road with gravel, like almost like pea
Oh,
gravel. They
okay.
cover it and then they let it dry and they roll it. Then they sweep it off, right? I think I'm right with that, Denver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
I know what you're talking about. We don't see it much out here, but I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
So we get to that chip seal, and there's a section where they hadn't swept it yet. So it's literally, if cars hadn't been on it, it would be all gravel road. But cars had driven down it. So there's 2 strips of cured pavement, but there's this deep of gravel in the middle and both sides.
I swear in the
right.
middle, some spots it had to been on damn near 6 inches deep. There's no way you
yeah.
could get around cars.
No, you couldn't. Yeah, no, you couldn't pass.
It
No way.
was
Yeah.
that like the
It was
depth-
like
yeah.
mounds.
Oh yeah, for like 40 some miles. So Colin, he's got a 2-over. He's got a pretty OG performance bag or whatever thing, and he somehow we got all the way through it. He was fine, right? And he's +2, 14-inch, shocks,
Okay.
everything.
he's up there.
Chain drive. He's up there. We get onto the pavement. We finally get done. And we're like, hell yeah! And we're talking on our Lexan, and we get a mile off of that gravel. And he's like, dude, there's something wrong with my bike. And I'm like, oh no. And we're in, mountain pass, right? Crap. So we pull over, and we're like, hey, you guys go. We'll meet you. So me and him and Milkweed, we stop, check it out. Dude, we damn near tore his whole bike apart looking for blown wheel bearing, this, that. He's like, it's just shaking on the D-cell. Something. He thought it was a motor mount. I mean, we checked everything, dude. Retorqued the axles, shocks, blah, blah, blah. Nope. Get back on the road. Nah, dude, it's still doing it. Crap. I'm like, dude, I'll bet you got a piece of gravel stuck in between something, and it's making a really weird vibration. And he's like, no way, that wouldn't happen, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I swear. So we pull over again. We check. We look, crawl underneath the bike, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to limp it to this town, meet the boys, whatever. So we get out onto the open road, and, of course, Colin, nothing's going to slow him down. He just smashes. So he starts smashing, dude, and we hit this huge bump. Dude, we hit this huge bump and almost bucks him off his bike. I mean, we're bucking. And he hits this bump, and it's just boom! And all of a sudden, he starts laughing. He's screaming. He's blowing my eardrums out. My Lex. I'm like, what is wrong? Are you okay? He's like, it's fixed. It's fixed. It's fixed. And I'm like, I told you, bro. It ended up being a rock between his oil pan and his swing arm.
Yeah, that would cause a pretty
Yep.
bad vibration or something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
and that would make sense. Damn, I've never seen anything like that. I would imagine the way you're describing it, it's almost like if you just had like snow piled up on you and you were just
Yep.
fucking riding in a single lane. And you had
Yep.
that for 40 miles?
Yeah. I think it was like 46 miles.
Did they just not is that like how they
It was
let
fresh.
and they just
Yep, that's how they do it.
Yeah, they'll lay it down and they'll leave it for a week, and then they go back up. They'll lay it down, they'll pack it, and then they leave it. Cars will drive on it. They go up, say, a week later, and they'll sweep it, and then restripe the road. Get all the excess gravel that's not stuck down, and clean the road off, and there you go.
Interesting. I've never. I know what you're talking about. Never seen anything like that done down here, but that's interesting. But hey, sometimes hitting a pothole or whatever it is that you hit is a blessing. Just hold on for the
It's a
ride.
it's a northwest thing, bro. It's a northwest thing.
Yep.
So 1,900 miles then for Brad. Brad, were you burnt? Or you hurt? How'd you feel?
Yeah, my leg was hurting pretty bad. All the metal and everything, it gets still pretty sore. Still a pretty fresh injury. So, my butt was fine. I got a different Corbin seat for the new bike, so it was nice.
And how did your guys' bikes run? I mean, Denver, no hiccups, nothing. Everything felt fine.
No, Betty ran great. I didn't have any issues at all. The only the only issue I had is we pulled into one gas station towards the end. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I run premium in mine with the cams in it, whatnot, a little bit. It just likes that little bit of extra octane. And all they had was 87, and you had your choice, ethanol or non-ethanol. And so, put in some non-ethanol, and she didn't like it. I mean, it ran, but I come to a stoplight, and it'd want to die. Or a stop sign, whatever. And that was the only real issue. And that was the last 120 miles, the last tank of fuel to get back home. To the gas station.
Always a good thing when it's
side
pretty
cover and
smooth
saddlebag
ride
on this side.
I oddly enough enjoy the little breakdowns that happen on the side of the road. Just part of the experience. But it makes it so much better when it's like smooth and you get home and nothing fell off. Everybody got home safe and good ass.
Yep.
Fucking ride, man. Good damn.
Exactly.
Yeah, Springer Mike's at a point.
I'll take that one.
How are you liking that road glide, Brad?
Oh my God. My wife even wants to ride with me now. More. She wants to ride more. Dude, after the one ride when we did the podcast, whatever, and then she said, "Brad, you need a new bike." It was that bad.
And now you got a road glide, man. And it treats you. You're breaking it in pretty damn well.
I bought it with 5,700 miles a couple weeks ago, and she's got almost 10K on her. So yeah,
attaboy. Well, that's what they're meant for, right? They're meant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're meant.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that saddlebag into one too, brother.
Denver,
Yo.
tell people a little bit for my podcast listeners about the V Twin Life podcast, man. That's how you and I, through Brad, also a little bit got kind of linked up and stuff. So what's up with the V Twin Life podcast?
The V Twin Life is an idea I had going almost 2 years now. Was just to reach out to other motorcycle riders within the motorcycle community, and share rides, share stories, trips of the road, the rides we take, highlight areas. A lot of us, might not be able to travel all over the place. And so you can hear cool stories of, all these different regions within our country. And, hopefully I'd love to break into, some international stuff with other people, but being able to share stories and hear other adventures and help build your own bucket list. Places you want to visit from the people you get to meet, and, in a way, I guess, say, live vicariously through somebody else and hearing their stories and share it around the world and share it with everybody. And, the probably most awesome thing I can honestly say is, we don't call them episodes. Everyone, for me, it's a milepost. Sunday will be milepost 73, but I can say the 72 milepost before that is I've made a personal friendship with every single person that I've had on. I still keep in touch with them, text, phone calls, and, you expand that network of friends. And it's the motorcycle community, much like, whether it's the Northwest, whether it's to the Northwest or where it is, the motorcycle community a whole is an awesome place to be a part of.
What'd you fire up there? A little clover? What was that? What is that? A little
Backwoods, buddy, backwoods.
I love the blowtorch technique. That's the best way to go, man. Quick, easy, dirty, and raw, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're up to mile marker 70 something. 70 what?
Milepost 73 will be Sunday.
Man, congratulations to that, man. That's an accomplishment. That is definitely for those that aren't on this side of the mic.
Don't worry about it.
You and I will understand how much energy and effort it takes to get to that point. That's a lot of work and consistency that you've put into it, man. Because you got to reach out to people and you got to connect with them and you got to schedule them and you got to. It's a lot of effort and energy to do. So when I guess when I tell you
Yeah, brother.
congratulations on that, I truly mean it, knowing on this side of it how much energy and effort it takes to get to that, man. So cheers to that.
It does.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Both of you guys bust your ass doing this. I love what you guys do, both of you.
Hey, nice hat, buddy.
And I know, like I
Oh,
Denver,
twinning.
I had
That's right. Hey, Crash Inc., buddy. We avoid warranties.
I'm wearing this old ass Lucky Dave's. It's got holes in it and all kinds of shit.
I mean, I got some new one, buddy.
Is that a hint, Ray?
What? No, it's just a. Hey, you want to know something about this shirt? This is like, I don't know if you guys have them, but this is like a big, comfy shop, hang around the house, do work shirt for me. It's like one of my favorite shirts, man. When this
I got a few of those.
When this shirt goes, I'm gonna be pretty bummed when this shirt goes. It's faded, it's stretched, it's all that. But
hey, there's still some more comical shit. We haven't finished Monsters Over Mountains yet, Ray.
God.
Oh shit!
Because
God.
oh yeah, so we get to bed in Arlington 2:30ish. I think me and Brad are kind of looking at maps. It's like 2:30. It's like we should probably get some sleep. And Colin's like, we're gonna get up at 5. I'm like, you're fucking high, dude. Fuck. Well, 5 o'clock. Colin's, let's get up as he's running around the parking lot where we're all crashed out on sidewalks, between bikes, everywhere. So we get shit packed up, and like Brad said, the gas station doesn't open till 7 in the morning. Me and Milkweed have full tanks of fuel. Everybody else is running on fumes. Frank Orlando has the Saddleman 1-gallon gas can that fits in the saddlebag that they make that's cut so it fits right in the back of your saddlebag.
I've seen those.
So Brad, uses half of it because his gas gauge is just saying, "Fucker, you're out of fuel." And so he takes half of it and leaves half for Frank. And we set off because it was 20 miles to Rufus or some shit.
Oh yeah. On the hey, and add this in. You're in I-84 on the gorge with the wind. Most of the time a headwind headed that direction.
Yeah.
Down the highway. It's not like you're putting around trying to make mileage. Yeah. So you tell your part, I'll tell my part because I got a good part of this one too.
I was going to basically explain your part. We're Brad's racing NASCAR. Well, not racing. Brad's pulling a NASCAR move as he's drafting behind Milkweed of 2 feet or so off his bike.
This far off his rear tire.
I got video of it.
My head tucked, dude, like this behind him the whole way. He's like, "Get behind me!" I'm like, "How close?" He's like, "Bro, as close as you want." Dude, you could feel him pulling me down the highway. It was awesome.
Attaboy, dude.
I pulled into the gas station. My bike started sputtering like as I'm pulling the hill to the gas station. It was crazy.
So you probably you really had no choice but to do it. You would have ran out of gas.
And the funny thing, so Brad
100%.
literally runs out into the gas pumps. Frank runs out of gas a mile from the gas station. I'm following Frank, so he reaches back, dumps in the half gallon that he has to get him to the gas station so we can get fuel for everybody, get our receipts and everybody so we can, get on because the next one was Mount Hood. And like we said, down low by the, down by the gorge and whatnot, it was a little windy, but temperatures weren't bad. And then you start climbing up the backside of Mount Hood, and it got goddamn cold.
What was it? What type of temperatures we talking about?
Cold, Ray.
45.
Yeah. I'm in my t-shirt and my vest, and I'm like, I should put on my coat as I'm shivering going up the road. It's like, it's going to get warm soon. I just know it as you can see the sun. And, 20 miles later, I think we rounded a corner and got out of the valley, and it's like, all right, this is better. Yeah, it was fucking cold.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got some cool drone video up at Lake Trillium.
Oh, who has a drone?
Steve Weber that came along with us. He brought his drone, his cameras. He brought all kinds of cool shit. Of course, we didn't have enough time to play with a lot of it, but we did get a cool, drone video, some footage.
That's pretty cool. I've seen those ones. Was it one of those ones that'll follow you, or did he have to?
Yeah. You can make it follow you, but he hovered it up because on this lake you had Mount Hood in the background, and the lake was like glass, so the mountain is actually reflecting in the water. So you had a killer reflection of it. And so we got some, cool drone footage of everybody, and then from there we headed out. But Brad's, like he said, his leg was just killing him. So at the top of Mount Hood, he decided he was just going to head back to my house, get Amber, and he would finish his bun burner on the way back home because he was a hurting unit. And so we can, continue down towards Gresham. We stopped in Gresham, Oregon, and that's when Colin was going to head back to his place because he lived in Eastern Washington. So he would finish his 1,500 on his way home, and he decided to hit another mountain pass. I think it was called Silas Pass.
Okay.
So then you had me, Michael Nielsen, Frank O'Neill, or Frank Orlando, and Milkweed. We Steve. We all stayed and continued on.
Milkweed. I love that name.
Yeah, that's his road name. And so, yeah, we headed up Washington to Chehalis, got fuel, and then we headed to the Washington coast and came back up the coast, by Claylock and in the middle of nowhere. And that's where I said, we stopped at the one gas station, which was the funny part. I go to get fuel, and it declines my bank card. About that time, my phone goes off that my bank is suspecting that my card has been used for fraud because it's been used all over the freaking Northwest, and they turned off my bank card.
I've had that happen to me when I was on the road.
And I told him it was me. I said, hey, use your card. We turned it back on. Well, my card still wouldn't work, so, Milkweed, bought me some fuel, filled up so we could make the last leg to get back to Port Angeles. And so we got back to Port Angeles, went back to the Safeway that we started at, and, because you got to have that last receipt, get your timestamp, stop your time.
Yeah.
So I pulled into the gas station, just to threw a gallon of gas in there, just give me my receipt at 4:34 p.m. And I started Saturday morning at 4:50. Here's the funny part: 4:59 and 30 seconds was my start time. I finished 4:59 and 30 seconds, and I finished at 4:34 and 34 seconds Sunday afternoon.
Just in there then.
Yeah.
I finished mine with 15 minutes to spare.
Oh my god! And so where does I've done the 1K in a day, and I know that gets submitted to Ramble on his website and everything. So I was looking. I think I did actually. Oh yeah, I did. I hung the certificate over there in my underneath my TV here.
And then the other thing we got to give a shout out to Ramble is I believe everybody has turned in their paperwork, where Ramble's actually taking the $48 registration fee for all of us, and that is going back to Mile Monsters also.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's really.
And then he sent a huge box to help with the raffle prizes. He gets from we have stuff from MotoFam, Dead King Cycles, Lowbrow Customs, Speed Kings, Heatwave Visual, and Ocracoke Trading Company. He sent a huge packet of stuff to help with the raffle prizes. So everybody that made a donation, your name is going in the raffle prize. Saturday, I'm going to do a live drawing, and there's probably 15 plus raffle prizes. We got two $50 gift certificates to Wild Ass Seats. Brad has thrown in some Crash Inc. merchandise. My wife has thrown in some LeBry lotions, and I think there's one other I can't remember offhand. But yeah, there's been a lot of companies that have gave out some great stuff to get back out for all the people that supported, to say thank you, and we're going to get back. And last check, we were just over $4,300 raised on Facebook, and I know of almost a little over $1,000 that was mailed directly to Mile Monsters. So
how did the miles? Was the miles just for you guys to do it, or was it per mile? You got a donation for it? How did it was
just a flat donation. What anybody wanted to donate to Mile Monsters to help, and that's where we laid down and say, hey, we're going to do 1,500 plus miles. We're going to complete it in under this, and people would make a donation, and people donated and supported it, and we were able to finish that 1,500 plus miles, and we did make our time frame. I had 35 hours and 35 minutes, and came in under that 36-hour window.
Man, congratulations to you guys on that. That's it's a good accomplishment. It's nice. It's a nice notch on the belt, But it's a good feeling to do that with a bunch of homies and get to that you accomplish that with close friends and stuff, to have that experience on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a above and beyond every, well, not above and beyond, in addition to that's a good takeaway from all this stuff too. Is with those experiences on the road, that on the
Yeah.
road, the stories on the road, and just that seat time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that there's not as many people I think that should be out there riding. Not everybody can, but if you can go do a 500-mile day, I urge you to, because it's a different experience than just riding around your local area, or even, go take a big mile day and go see some stuff that you don't normally see and ride through some shit that you don't normally ride through. And it's a different experience on a motorcycle.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and there was guys like Steve. He'd never done anything like this. He literally went and bought he got a steal of a deal on a BMW GS 1200. He bought like 2 weeks prior to the ride because his other bike he didn't think he'd be able to keep up.
Oh, yeah, right.
In his mind, he wasn't even sure if he would be able to complete this because he's never done anything like this. And, this was his first ever going of trying to do a 1K or something of this statue, riding this many miles at a timed event. And afterwards, we were talking later that day, even the next day, he's like, man, I was looking up that 1K. He goes, this is crazy. He goes, all these people, we need to do it again.
Yeah, you kind of definitely get bit by that bug. Once you do it, it's a good sense of accomplishment. But you're like, man, that was fun being on the road for that many miles and doing that long of a day.
And something pretty cool, as I talked with Ramble and sent him the logo that we had made up of the medicine wheel for the Monsters Over Mountains, and he's going to see if he can incorporate that into our certificates. And cool. I know Frank Orlando has been in touch with the Ironbit Association because he's a premium member, and we get our stuff submitted with them, and they will actually title our ride as the Monsters Over Mountains ride, and we'll get our Saddle Sore 1000 and our Bun Burner 1500.
Dope, man! Congratulations!
And then it will be
what are you working on down there? What are you working on? What are you putting on now? What are you doing?
Thrash and brake arm.
Oh, okay. What about floorboards? Doing same floorboards?
It's got the Joker machine floorboard.
Okay, that thrashing one's adjustable, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Yeah, it was quite an experience, and it's like I said, I wrote. It's kind of a novel post on Facebook. Basically the whole ride, and the last sentence is like, you had 7 strangers that came together because none of the 7 knew everybody. There was at least a stranger or 2 in the group, and you had 7 strangers came together, and at the end of this ride, you had 7 brothers that left, and I think it's very true.
Yeah, that's very true, man. Time on the road is well spent time, man. That's some of the
absolutely.
I know Steve talked to me and said when we hit Yakima, he's like, I didn't think I would be able to go. He goes, I was so tired, and then he got hit by a side wind and said that woke him right the fuck up. He's like, I was good after that. He goes, but man, I didn't think I could. And he goes, all of a sudden that side gust hit me, and I'm awake. But he was the one that had the luxury. I mean, we're all, 200 miles ish. You're looking for fuel, and here's Steve on his nice new BMW adventure bike with a 9-gallon gas tank that can go 400 miles. It's like, that's got to be nice. That was a nice bike. And he literally just bought it because he wanted to do this and figured, fuck, my old bike's not going to be able to do it. So he found a killer deal on this bike. I mean, the previous owner put a shit ton of money in with suspension upgrades, engine guards, all the panniers, the top bag, and the bike had like 4,000 miles on it.
Damn.
And he got it for a steal.
Dude, that's my next. I can't do it right now. I know I definitely can't swing it now, but I have enough.
5 guys in a house and 1 guy sleeping in a backyard.
I have enough Harleys already sitting in the garage. My next purchase, my next bike, I think is going to be an adventure bike. And
I would love to get one too.
I'm looking at that Africa V-twin. That I think it's
the Africa Twin.
Or not the V-twin. Yeah, the Africa Twin. Yeah, I love that thing, dude. It looks so.
I know
cool.
a couple people that have them, and I've heard great things about them, and they sound. You throw an exhaust on it, and they sound impressive.
Dude, I want to have something that I can just like take, like, oh, there's a little trail. Let's go over there. They don't have a lot I was driving home today and they have a river bottom area, and I'm like, you can see that the fence is torn down. You're not supposed to be in there riding, but I'm like, screw that. If I can get in there, there's a really quick, easy way for me to get in there. I want to have a bike that I can start doing that shit with again.
You know, the other thing, if you want to slowly, you know, break yourself into it, and you don't want to break the bank, is find yourself a Kawasaki KLR 650.
Yep.
The most tried and true. Basically, you can consider that as your entry level into an adventure bike, and those things are tried, tested, and I mean, hell, the military used them, and they made them forever, and they have so many accessories with bags. I mean, bigger desert tanks on them, and that thing will take you everywhere you freaking would ever want to go. And if you really enjoy it, then hey, in a year or so, whatever time frame, upgrade to something else. But you can find those things everywhere, and they will go forever.
Damn, you
Big
know
old
what?
650 thumper.
You know what you just did? You just made me gonna go online later, and I'm gonna go looking for that and make a purchase. Yeah, the adventure bike seems like the next thing. I got enough Harleys in the stable and all that. It's maybe time to add something back into the repertoire and shit. You know?
I know the crazy thing. I know Riot. I've had a few messages sent to me, and I know Riot's had a lot of people contact him, messages and phone calls, wanting to know, is this now a new annual event? Is there going to be a Monsters Over Mountain 2023? And I've had, a couple guys message me. I'm like, man, I'm still compressing from this, but
Brad's saying yes.
Hey, I'm not saying there's not. Don't get me wrong. I've had some cool ideas, and it is something I think that very well could continue. Whether you want to, just 2023 event, the 24 or Monsters Over Mountains 2.0 with a name, with a name, it can easily grow with the Monsters Over Mountains, and there's mountains everywhere.
Yeah, buddy.
Let me ask then, can I put something like that together here for you to raise money for it also? Or how how does that work? If I put a
I don't
ride
fully understand what you're talking about.
if I
Can he
like,
do a mile
if I want to work with you to help contribute to the thing, can I put a ride together in this area for you to contribute to that cause? Like and
Yeah,
same-
you mean you
to
want
raise-
to do a
raise-
Mile Monsters?
to raise the money, like in a
Yeah, I could get you in touch with Riot, and I know it wouldn't be a problem. And
Okay.
it's like, I don't know if the fundraiser, all the shit info on it will go away, but it's like there's a video at the top of it where he, expressed the cool how Mile Monsters has grown coast to coast. People doing more events, and Mile Monsters is growing, and it's awesome. And he's always looking for more monsters to ride, and more money to be made to help these boys live the best lives they can.
I like the name Mile
the
Monsters.
support.
Especially right now, my daughter's into Monsters Inc. So it keeps reminding me of that Disney movie a little bit. Like I'm like, yeah, Mile Monster just crushing some stuff. Chris Hopper, when you talk about Mile Monsters, you had him on the podcast on yours, and I brought him on a Showcase Sunday. That guy 100,000 miles in 100 days.
Yeah, and he ended up raising $107,000 for Mile Monsters on that ride. The goal was 100 days, 100,000 miles, raise $100,000, and he did all three and went over 100,000, which was freaking amazing.
Dude, that guy, talking to him, I was just like, dude, that's an insane accomplishment. And I had so many questions, like, how did you do that? What did you do? He's like, I just rode, like, I come back home the same day. Yeah.
He bought, like, what was it, 10 sets of tires before he left, so the dealership was fully stocked with everything he needed, and it was insane. Yeah, what he did was, mind-boggling and inspiring. I mean, all the stuff you've seen all these serious guys do, it's like, what I did is a day ride for those guys, but you got to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, Brad.
Yep.
How's it going on that thing?
Going.
How's the rotors?
They're sick.
They're sick? Let me see them. Yeah, that looks pretty sick. What exhaust is that, too?
It's the Bassani True Dual Stainless. It's sick.
Podcast,
So
sorry.
nice.
The podcast is
So nice.
You guys can't see this. We're on YouTube right now, so podcast version. That's a nice looking exhaust.
It is. It's a nice
looking.
exhaust.
Yeah. That,
Really
Dude.
nice.
my dad's aren't the stainless, his are the chrome, but he went with the Bazzani True Duals on his.
It's
I
pretty dope.
I know. I need to
feel-
figure out a day. I
feel bad-
actually,
Oh, go ahead.
I broke one piece. I got to weld my saddlebag support because that broke almost when I got home, and I had one saddlebag was hanging way down. But I gotta get down to Brad's house because I got a set of fork legs now that are mine that are down in Brad's garage. We need to come
Right.
put on.
That's right.
What do you need a set of fork leg? Just a new color or just upgrade some upgraded ones?
Suspension.
Yeah, upgrade.
Oh, there you go.
They're actually hand-me-downs. They were on
That's right.
Victor's. They
I
were
love
on Victor's Street
hand-me-downs.
Glide. They were on Victor's Street
Mod
Glide
Glide?
originally.
Yeah.
Yep, Mod Glide. They
Okay.
have progressive. They're 41 mil with progressive cartridges in them. He gave them to me, and I ran them on the Crash Glide forever until I did the 49 mil conversion, and now I have them sitting here. And I was like, dude, Denver, you need an upgrade, bro. Guess what I got sitting in the shop?
Dang. Perfect. And dude, you just reminded me, Brad, like I completely forgot. And I have probably somebody that could use them and be really appreciative of them. Actually,
What, you got some rear shocks?
No, I have fucking, actually, yes, I do have that as well. But I have a fucking set of Legends like in cartridges already
Sure,
ready to go
sure,
in a
sure.
41 thing as well. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot.
Really? I love you, Ray.
I swear I forgot. I turned around and I'm like, there they are right there. They're in this bin that I put because I did the same thing that Brad did. I upgraded to the 49 mil on mine, and I already had the Legends in the 41, and I took them out. I mean, I got a bike that someday I could put them on, but if somebody else could use them, shit, I just gave my homeboy Leonard some. He got this older bagger, got into the bagger game, and I just gave him a set of shocks because they were just sitting on a friend of mine's bike, and I'm like, dude, you need them? They're just sitting in storage. I'll go get them.
Where's the
So-
forward?
That's the way this shit works, man. You need
Yeah,
something.
I got to do rears. I still run on the original Air, so they got to go soon.
Damn. You did that many miles. I'm proud of you for that sake, dude. Because
Yep.
that many miles on that suspension, boy, it's
That's a
supposed to
really
be touring suspension, but
Right.
It's not.
yeah, dude. I might have something for you, Denver. Let me see. I might have something for you. If you would have told me like 2 weeks earlier, you definitely would have had them before I gave them to my other friend.
Oh, no
But-
worries, bro.
I might have another set for you, actually. They're better than that air shocks that you got going on, man.
Yeah, they're horrible.
They're
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna powder coat it.
No, dude, they are like they.
But you know what?
Keep it
I made
real,
them
dude.
work for tens of thousands of miles that I put on old Black Betty. So
Well, it's not making or breaking you, but what you know what's going to just end up happening. Clearly, you've gotten used to it, and we know that it's not the greatest. But when you
it's that
do
wild ass seat that adds that comfort.
but when you do get something else underneath you, you're gonna go, "Why did I wait so long to do this?"
Uh-huh.
You're
Oh,
gonna-
even Amy, my wife, said that. She goes, "We got to do something with these shocks. They suck." I'm like, "Yes, they do."
Oh, so she feels it when she's on the back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to if you're going to ride the wife or the girlfriend or whoever, you got to keep them comfortable as well back there. My wife always talks shit about those the pizza box, not the pizza, but the tour packs. She'd always talk shit about them. She's like, "Oh, it looks like a grandpa thing." Da, 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 da. And I agreed with her. I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't look the greatest, but I got a bike that I bought a used one."
Bro.
And then she put it on. She sat on it with that, and now she's like, well, when she does go ride, he's like, "You're gonna put that on. She don't want anything else but that."
My
thing on
wife
it."
won't get on the bike unless I have the tour pack on either.
Hey, I'll admit, dude, I've taken mine off the road glide. The whole time I've owned it, 3.5 years plus, I take it off and I think the bike looks fucking ugly and gay, and I don't like the look of it without it. I'm
You-
just so
you like-
used to it. And I go places, I'm always using it. So it's like, I just don't like the look of it without the tour pack. I'm
know
just
what?
too used to it.
There was one time I got really bold with it, guys, and I don't know whether this was a good thing or bad thing, but I just,
Yeah.
you got to try. You got to
You
try
need
and
to set
see
where
if
you want your brake
something looks okay. Or I knew it wasn't going to look okay, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to roll with it. And for a minute, you know what I did? I ditched the bags and I just rocked the fucking tour pack. No fucking bags, just with a tour pack on top, rolling around like that. And I was like, I think it fucking looks kind of cool, but I'm not going to continue with this look.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting interesting take on that shit. That's for sure. Brad, how much more you got to wrench on that shit, man? I thought you were just doing two things or just putting rotors on there.
Well,
It
he asked
snowballed.
he asked Dylan, my friend here. He asked if we could do this real quick because I am out of town. I leave Friday night. We're leaving for our big trip, headed to Whitefish, Montana for several days, and then to Durango for Four Corners Rally, and then back. So he wanted to get this stuff done. So I told him, let's just do it. And the boys will have to deal with it.
Hey, I got something to show you, Ray. You got to check that. This is something you might be interested in. But I mean, you can't have it because it's mine. I got to put it on.
Uh-oh. Brad, where are you going then?
I'm going to Four Corners Rally.
Okay. And you're
But
leaving.
we're going. So we're leaving Friday, Amber and I, and we're going to ride probably a couple hundred miles and then camp Friday night. Saturday midday, we'll show up in Whitefish, Montana to a cabin there where we're meeting Roji and the whole crew and Seth and all those guys. And We're going to spend, I think, until Wednesday at the cabin, and we're going to do like small 200-mile rides each day, exploring Glacier and everything.
Dope.
And then Wednesday, I think it is. I'd have to look at the schedule.
Did Roji send out that schedule?
Yeah, exactly. You know. We'll leave
you know
there.
what? I don't. I've heard. I have
heard,
not had the privilege or the luxury of riding a long one with Roji like that, but I have heard that it's very regimented.
Yeah. So, and then we leave there, and then we camp Thursday night. I think Wednesday night somewhere, and then Thursday night it's either Wednesday night or Thursday night we camp in Yellowstone, and then we camp somewhere else, and then we show up in Durango Friday, and then we'll do the rally. We have a big house. We rented a huge house in Durango. There's like 11 or 12 of us, and we'll do the rally, and then Amber's flying home because she's got to get home to get her son to school.
Okay.
And then I was gonna take the next week off and ride back down to Cali with everybody and then come home, but work is really busy right now, so I'm gonna cancel my vacation on that week. And I think I'm gonna pull I want to do another bun burner. It's 1,600 miles to my house, so I'm gonna ride straight through on Labor Day. I think.
Here?
I think I'm gonna try to home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, down.
This loose right here.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do another bun burner on my solo.
Just that's a good notch on the belt. Solo's fun too. I love solo riding.
Yeah,
They're meditating.
solo's radical.
Yeah,
I had
they're
one upgrade that I wish
that.
I could have got done, but I broke a piece on my forks and had to mess with that before we left. That I think would have been really helpful Friday night.
What you get?
Can you see that?
What is that?
The Custom
Pro-
Dynamics ProBeam adaptive headlights.
Oh,
we'll adjust that
shit.
after. But that's
Look
really
at
like
I got a big shout out to Custom Dynamics, the new sponsor of the podcast, because they sent over a package.
so you can adjust.
They're redoing. They read basically. I have all the stuff. I'm redoing every light on my bike, including all new Halo blinkers, tail lights, the Halo fog lights, the new adaptive headlight, all
Dude,
kinds of stuff.
Denver got
Congratulations!
hooked up.
Congratulations on that, Denver. That's a great
Yeah.
accomplishment. And
So yeah, I thought it was like when they were talking about they were maybe like send a headlight or some blinkers and whatnot, and then they get in touch with me the next day and they're like, "What do you think of all this?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" And I was floored. It's humbling. It's like, holy cow, man! I didn't expect that one bit.
well, congratulations on that, man. And you're gonna have your bike's gonna be all dialed in with some bomb ass lighting, LEDs and shit, man. It'll give it probably a little. Or for that, because that light isn't just like a stock looking replacement light. It's got its own facelift of a look.
Oh,
to it.
that's the adaptive one.
Yeah. So with the adaptive headlight, these things are crazy. When you lean over in the corner, There's lights that come on the sides that reflect to the side of the road, come back up, they turn off.
I've always hated that about the Road Glide, that when you dip into it, you get that blind dark spot when you're turning down into a corner.
Yep.
Yeah,
And the crazy thing is they have these for the late models. They don't have the adaptive for the new ones. At least not yet. But
yeah, they don't
and
give
it's
your,
not a
what year
it's
is
not
your
a
bike?
cheap upgrade. Mine's an 04.
So yeah, it'll give, that's what I'm saying, it'll give that front end a nice little. Sorry guys, if you guys are wondering what all that noise is going on, Brad's
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, you're good.
Brad's
Lighting
playing
my
with a
cigar.
map gas right now.
Brad's
My
over
bad,
here.
my
Hey,
bad.
listen, no, not my bad. Because listen, I'm in a garage, and how we do it on the Harley Showcase is we keep it real around here. And if I had a bike to be working on, I'd probably be working on one my damn self. So,
All right, we'll set that when we get it on the
yeah,
ground.
that's the one thing I've never really liked about my Road Glide is that blind spot right there. So that's a nice little upgrade right there. That is
Oh,
a
for
nice,
sure.
Yeah, because everyone's talking about, and I agree. Being seen at night is very important, but it's equally
Safety.
important for you to see where you're going too.
Oh, and the custom dynamics lighting, their taillights. Because, I got new rear blinkers, the low-profile taillight, the fog light. Everything. And especially for the rear, the more lights you can have, the brighter they are in the back,
You would just stack them underneath my bike.
the more people are going to see you, the safer you're going to be. To me, yeah, they're, could be a limit. You don't want to just the whole ass end glowing, but you do it nicely. You can put the fillers between your saddlebags and the fender.
Yeah,
The custom dynamics blinkers, the run turn brake controller, so you get all three. They are bright as hell. I have a friend of mine that has them on his Street Glide,
Okay.
and I followed him over White Pass one night in the dark, and those things are so bright. He actually angled his slightly down because some of the guys that he rides with were somewhat complaining because they literally couldn't fucking see because they're so bright. But it's like, I guess on the flip side, if they're that bright, then what cars are also going to see it, and that's going to, just another aspect of safety, which is, on a motorcycle, we're small. For some reason, people don't pay attention to see us, but the more you can be seen, then in hindsight, hopefully the safer you are going to be from the other people.
Seen and heard.
Exactly.
seen
Right.
and heard. Yeah, those are like,
Yep.
I don't give and for me, I'd rather you hear me coming before you, not necessarily see me, but you'll hear me well before you're going to see me, because I like my shit loud, and I'll make, what is
You want the
lane
blue, not
splitting
the red.
legal up there? No.
What's that?
Is lane splitting legal in the state?
No.
Not yet, no.
No. Yeah. When I lane split here, I'm on that thing. I'm like, I'm on that throttle. You're going to hear me coming down that lane well before you probably see me, because when I'm on that throttle a little bit, yeah, I'm a little bit, but I see the cars in front of me like split a little bit. They hear me. They're like, hey, something's coming, and they kind of move over a little bit. So being heard is, it's important.
That too.
It's extremely important,
Hey, the old saying, man, loud pipe save lives.
That's it, man. I think I even had a patch like that. So,
Yeah.
one time. Yeah, I lived that life one time, man. So, well, hey,
Yeah.
fellas, I'm gonna go and fucking kick it with my kids for a little bit, and my wife actually before we hit the hay. And Brad, it looks like you got some work to finish up there.
I just got to do grips. That's all. I'm
There you
done.
go. There you go, man. So Denver, thanks for coming and kicking it, man. And
Hey, thank you for the invite, Ray, man. It's fun, man. I enjoy talking stuff and enjoy hanging out. It's like you said, we talk probably at least, once a week, if, at least every other week. So, no, man, it's a good time. Thank you for, the invite and let me come on and hang out.
Dude, you're welcome anytime. Unfortunately, I had to start all over with this shit.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry, man. Your following has doubled since we came on tonight.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I did notice that. So people, and you know what? I need to work with you a little bit more on the YouTube stuff, because you're more on, I'll be straight, you're way more on game on this YouTube stuff than I am,
I'm learning, man. I've learned a lot, huge amount from Brad the Biker. That guy's helped me tremendously. I got to give him credit because, between, and pointers from the Professional Monkey and some of these guys that do the stuff, I've expanded my circle of people that
Yeah.
can give great advice.
You put me in contact with some of the same people that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I haven't paid too much attention to the YouTube. My primary thing to do this YouTube stuff was to
Sorry.
oh, you're good, man. My primary thing was to I know, look at that. Look at those
Hey, now
legs.
that's an awesome fucking view right there, buddy.
Look at that right there. So sexy.
You like that? I'm in my garage attire.
Shit, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry.
Oh well, whatever. Oh, the I'm learning the YouTube shit and talking with Bry and those guys. They kind of gave me, put me into it. But the YouTube I started mostly to broadcast the podcast. I guess the video portion of the podcast when I'm like sitting here in the garage. That's really why I started it. But then I started getting into it a little bit more with like, because I do a lot of tutorial stuff in here. So I started dabbling with it a little bit more where I was like, troubleshooting like a voltage regulator or troubleshooting like brake stuff, shit like that,
Yeah.
and so I took a little bit more enjoyment in it with that stuff as well, but it was also time consuming. But while doing that, I realized, man, this whole YouTube thing, it's a whole different ballgame. It's another beast of social media that I haven't brought myself up to par with, like how to really sell myself.
Maximize, and there's a lot of stuff that goes with it, and Brian has been a big help and help me. But it's like, shoot, I think we started this. You had 7 people following your channel, man. You're at 17 now. You got over doubled, buddy.
Yeah, man. That's I gotta work with you guys a little bit more and talk, because that's how this stuff works, right? It's networking.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm gonna play with this a little bit more. I actually did appeal it. I tried to like contact Google and stuff like that, and I put an appeal in. I don't know where that's gonna go. I have actually some optimism now in recovering my Instagram account after yesterday.
Really?
There may be some. I'm gonna actually record a podcast on that, Brad. I was gonna maybe do it tonight, but it's getting late. I want to go hang out with my wife, but I'm actually going to just come in here and I'm going to record a podcast on that whole debacle of it, because I'm getting asked so many. I'm just going to like, here, if you want to know, here's the deal. And
hey, there you go, man.
Listen or don't listen type thing. So I'm just going to sit here and babble into this mic and give everyone what's the latest. But in terms of that, Brad, I did file an appeal. I did get leeway, and I actually spoke with somebody. Can you believe that?
Really? No way.
You got to talk to a real person at Google?
I spoke to a real person. I got a response in an email with them from our conversation and everything.
Whoa.
And what they actually appealed it internally is what she said. She's like, oh, here's a link. Fill out this form. I had to submit an ID picture of me. And she's all, in addition to that, I'm also putting an appeal internally from myself to that department for you. She's like, once they verify this and verify that, I'm pretty confident that you can't get in there. And I'm like, I'm optimistic when I heard that, but I still haven't got any. She said they'll email me and shit like that. So up until yesterday, I was like, I'm done. There's no way. And then I weaseled my way in, and I'm like, whoa, I found a way, and I got to somebody, and I'm at this point now at waiting. But I feel like I made some headway. So
that's awesome.
I would love to have it back. You know what I'm bummed about it, dude? And I'm going to put this in a podcast, but I'll just say it. I'm bummed for the place that it was as a source for people and conversations like this. The work and all that stuff, man, I'll never stop putting in the work. But I'm bummed because people would go there and like get information about the Pismo run that I'm doing and Miles Over Monster stuff that we would do on there, and Action Jackson, these type of dudes that are building these bikes. Like, that's a source for all these guys. I'm bummed for that. I was like, I'm like, these guys, this is a showcase. The showcase is for them to fucking showcase their stuff, be there, and I was bummed for that, dude, because I can sit here and bullshit in the garage all day long for the rest, forever and keep talking to people. That ain't gonna bother me. But everyone, all those other ones were like, I put in time, but that was here, check out my bike, check out this, and now it's at the moment gone. And it's crazy how it's crazy how quick it can just be gone. It was literally like snap of a finger. It was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I'm working on it. We shall see. Fingers crossed.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, man, give me a call tomorrow. We'll talk some of us, about this, and we'll talk some Mile Monsters too. If you want to do something down there, we'll talk that, and I'll get in touch with Riot. And I don't see a problem with it. I mean, it's like I said, the more word gets out, the more word gets spread about it, the more better that hopefully we can do within the community as a group. We can do to also spread the word of Mile Monsters, the cause, and raise awareness to, I guess what I can say is what we're doing now that I feel that, I became a part of what I've done, but I'm just a small sliver. I mean, Riot is the man that started this a little over a year ago, and it's grown leaps and bounds. And, what he's done for the cause, for these boys that he's personally met, and, it's inspiring. And I want to do all that I can to help. And, I'm sure there will be another Monsters Over Mountains next year, and, maybe a little bigger.
Absolutely, man.
Maybe Ray just needs to come up and ride it with us.
Maybe Ray does.
That would be the next option. But if what I was thinking, if I can do something here, I would make it where because I got a lot of friends around in the area where, and Roji would be maybe somebody that first comes to mind, Brad, that would be on board.
Right.
But a little challenge, a little not call out, but a little, hey, come put your miles where your mouth is sort of deal. And let's see. Let's all
I like it.
We're going to go take this little thing, and I'm going to challenge you to go and make this ride with me. But this challenge is also going for the cause that it's going for,
there was a guy in Minnesota. I want to say he was a younger individual, say maybe his mid-20s. He had never laid down miles, say to the aspects of a 1K. And so he wanted to do something for Mile Monsters. He was going to go do a 1K. I mean, the guy was all over social media for like a month because really pushing it, pumping it, because he'd never done anything like this. He wanted to know, challenge himself, can I do this, and whatnot. And shit, I think he ended up raising like $5,000 for Mile Monsters and, doing a 1K. It's something he'd never done. He wanted to challenge himself and wanted to do something to contribute to it. And the dude was all over social media for like a month. And man, what he did was great. It's every bit helps. It doesn't just have to be some extreme, totally
crazy,
nuts, multi-thousand mile ride. But, we can all do what we can do to contribute. Everybody's situations are different, but, we can give up a day. We can give up 2, 3. I guess if you're Hopper, you can give up 100. But, everybody's situation is different, but
I got a few
we can all come together.
I got a few friends that I could challenge over here. I would be like, hey, come on, let's go. I got a few that I would let's just say antagonize just a little bit to get them to go in.
There you go.
You're like, hey, come on,
poke the sleeping bear. There you go.
That's exactly it. Sometimes you're like, hey, not only am I challenging you a little bit, just a friendly challenge, of course, but
friendly poke the bear.
Right, but it's also you're doing a good thing for it at the same. We're doing a good thing for it. It's a little friendly competition, a little friendly challenge, but it's also going towards a really good cause. So
we're doing something that we enjoy. Yeah. We're hopping on our bike, we're riding miles, we're enjoying the wind, but we're doing it for a greater good, a greater cause.
Exactly. On that note, I think that's an excellent note right there to finish this off on, man.
Right on, buddy.
That's an excellent note. To Brad, get to work, man. We will let you be, man. And Denver, thank you very, very much for coming and hanging out. And let me know.
Hey, man, thank you.
Work with something to do something over here.
Yeah, we'll talk for a second as soon as we get off. Hey, love you, bro.
Love you.
Love you guys so much.
All right,
much
man.
respect.
We'll see you guys later.
Later.
Later.